Hello and welcome to Broken Rules, a show about people making their own way in music and beyond. I'm John Lanier. Thank you for joining us today on the podcast. This is the last episode of our first season, and we really appreciate all of you who have come along and listened to one or two or three or all of these episodes so far, and I think we've got a great one to close out the first season, and we look forward to seeing you after a little bit of a break. We're going to we've got some great guests lined up for the second season. We're going to do some planning and maybe make some changes and mix some things up a little bit and continue to bring you hopefully inspiring stories of people who work in music or other artistic endeavors and people who have given their lives over to their art. Today, we have Ron Cook and Jeremy Pinell from the band Zentrance. Zentrance is a Nashville band, original band, doing just really good stuff. And we talk about their evolution as a band recently and their individual stories and where they've come from. And it's pretty unique with both of those guys because they are both grew up here in Nashville, which is kind of not the most common thing. Most people move here at some point. So these guys are Nashville natives, and we really dig into their story, and they're good friends of mine, and I've been playing a lot of shows with them over the past year or so. And the other thing that's different about this episode is that we actually do some live performance from them. They do a couple of acoustic versions of their songs, and so that was a new thing for us on the podcast, and hope you enjoy that. We will definitely explore and look into doing more of that in the second season. But it has been a pleasure. It's been a lot of learning and just a really good experience to do this first group of episodes. Myself and Chris Ogle, who's my partner in this, who does all of the recording, editing, basically all of the behind the scenes stuff that is way more important than the stuff that I do and a lot more difficult. So, but he and I have talked about doing this for a long time, so it's been a really good experience, and we're going to dig in and see what we can do to improve upon what we've got started here now. And again, thank you to all of you who have taken the time to listen. We are able to see our metrics, and we have had a lot of loyal listeners. We've had a lot of one-time listeners. We've had listeners from all over the world and all over the United States, and it really is kind of impressive to see the reach that we've been able to have. We haven't done that much as far as, well, we've done some promotion, but we kind of have just been trying to take our time and move through this and learn as we go. I'm sure we'll do a lot more. Also want to take a moment to thank all of our great guests that have been on the show so far. We really appreciate you. And if you haven't heard any of our other episodes, and if this is your first time listening, please do go back and listen to those. I think you'll really enjoy it, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. And without further ado, here is our interview with Ron Cook and Jeremy Pinell from the band Zentrance.
I woke up this morning and I had a headache, so I took a pill and it went away. Grabbed my belongings and head for the door. This simple life and I'm living once more again, singing ooh cha-cha. Oh now ooh cha-cha. Oh now ooh cha-cha. Oh, now, cha-cha. So we went sailing across the sea to find a better place to live for you and me. So we were sailing, it was a thing to do. It's just a you and I and me and you again, singing ooh, cha-cha. Oh, now, ooh, cha-cha. ChaCha. Oh, now, ChaCha. Oh, we're sailing away and never thought to look at the weather. And hoping and praying that today it don't rain. So we went sailing across the sea to find a better place to live for you and me. So we kept sailing, it was a thing to do. It's just a you and I and me and you again singing, ooh, ChaCha. Oh, now, ooh, ChaCha. Ooh, ChaCha. Oh, down, ChaCha. Oh, we're sailing away and never thought to look at the weather. And hoping, praying that today it don't rain. I hope that it don't rain. 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 Hope it don't rain down on me. ChaCha, daddy do. Ooh, ChaCha, daddy do. Ooh, ChaCha. Oh, now, ChaCha.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Broken Rules. Today we have two guys from the band Zentrance, Jeremy Pinell and Ron Cook. These guys are a great band from here in Nashville. I've seen a lot of them over the past year or so. We've played a bunch of shows together, and I've gotten to know them, and they are awesome. So I really appreciate you guys coming on here to talk a little bit about Zentrance, maybe some other stuff too. So I appreciate it, y'all. And the first thing that I would like to point out, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, this might be one of the times that you want to check the show out on YouTube, because we're over at Jeremy's place in his studio, and we're surrounded by guitars, many of which I think that Jeremy built or rebuilt, and it's just a really cool space. So we'll try not to geek out too much on that for our listening only audiences, but some of these guitars are great. You said this one, this Telecaster, has a B bender in it that you had somebody build for you because you needed it on a tour or something.
Right, yeah. The purple one.
The purple one. That's awesome. Which other? Well, tell me about a couple other of these just before we get really into this.
Well, most of them are parts casters. I'll find a body and a neck.
Yeah.
Hopefully the same year.
And
end up with the right guitar.
Yeah.
But none of them are stock. But they're, I don't have any vintage. Well, not really, no. I don't have any vintage record.
Yeah.
Well, I guess those are the 80s Strats are vintage now. That's
That's weird. Yeah.
And you actually play all these. I think I've seen you play just about every one of these guitars.
Yeah, when the strings are dead, I grab the next one.
Yeah.
And then when they all need strings, I have to buy a box.
Yeah, that's unique because there's some guys that just want to play the same thing every time. And And they're not like all strats either, right?
Nah.
But you guys' music kind of lends itself to a lot of different guitar tones. It's probably versatile.
Yeah.
It's good stuff to be able to swap things out in, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention about Jeremy's place here, just coming out, and you definitely won't be able to see this, but I'll try to describe it. His backyard looks like some kind of oasis. It's really cool. And you said you had a wedding reception here recently, and also that you have won some awards for your Christmas decorations.
Yeah, we go. My wife goes all out, so it's a little obsessive.
It's cool though. It's really
a
nice.
full-time job.
And so, give me an idea of what you said. You had things that you like arbors over the driveway when you drive through it,
Every square foot of my yard has lights on it.
like Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it's beyond that.
All the rest of the whole city starts losing power when you fire everything up.
Yeah. But we did switch to LEDs, so we didn't notice a big difference on our bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love that, and I love your backyard. I love this studio too. This is cool.
Yeah, this used to be a garage. So.
Yeah, I like it. I appreciate it. So, Ron, tell me a little bit about Zentrance, the history of it. I know that you guys, the current iteration of Zentrance has been around for a couple of years maybe, but this was actually you giving rebirth to a band that you had years before. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. It was 99, 2000, I guess, when the first one was. And it was me and Sean did that. He's the drummer.
Uh-huh.
And Sean and I have been playing together since we were kids. We learned to play together. And,
Oh, wow.
We were 15 years old. So
Okay.
yeah, have known each other a long time. And so it was a 3-piece back then. And then we put it back together, I guess, kind of right before COVID. And then, because of COVID, it just changed some things. And then Jeremy came along about a year later. And it's fun. It's a great time. Now we're a 5-piece. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And you and Jeremy
Nails.
played together or knew each other on the scene here in Murfreesboro for a long time before that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all were in two different bands that were kind of hot at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. We played shows together and played in front of the same audiences all the time. And
What was the name of that band?
The Incredible Heat Machine.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember. What years was that going on?
Yeah, I know, right?
It was 10 years, but I can't remember if it was 2000 to 2010. Yeah, somewhere around.
I mean,
there.
I remember. I definitely remember the name,
Yeah.
like in the Nashville scene and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so you guys were playing on bills together and that kind of stuff back then. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the current iteration of Zentrance is you, Sean, the drummer, Matthew Kelly on bass, Nels Noseworthy on keys and sax, and Jeremy and you on guitars. Did I get that right? Yeah. And you really need to check them out. I just love the band and their style. It's I guess you'd consider you guys a jam band, right? I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah, we kind of don't stick in one lane.
Yeah.
We have an overall sound, but
Chameleon band.
Yeah.
Well, I've said this before, and this is not a slam on. There's a lot of quote unquote jam bands that I love, but you guys are a song band for sure. I mean, you guys have great tunes, and you kind of leave a little bit where you're like, they could have stretched that out a little bit more, but it's okay because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get right there and you're like, and I know sometimes you do, right? But you resist the urge, I think, sometimes, right?
That's when you have a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
You got 9 songs to play, you know, and then you play your 9 songs. But there's sometimes you hit that little, I wish we had another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Because
we're doing something. We gotta stop.
Yeah. Well,
because sometimes a 45-minute set is 3 songs, depending on the band or whatever.
Yeah. Well, or like tonight where we'll have 2 full hours when we're playing at Cedar Glade. We might stretch
Yeah,
it.
we'll probably stretch it tonight.
Like we're gonna bust out the acoustics tonight instead of the electrics. So
okay.
that'll be fun.
That will be cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I like about you guys, and you also have harmonies and the complement of your songs, Ron, and Jeremy's songs, which I don't think y'all write songs together, or
Not
do you?
yet.
Not yet. I mean, maybe in the practice room occasionally
Yeah.
we collaborate, but we haven't actually sat down and said, "Hey, let's."
Right.
But Jeremy came in with some stuff.
He's a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. It works out great. Both sing. Gives us a little variety, versatility.
Yeah, I like it. And the harmonies, and as it nails, it sings harmonies too. Who's the other singer?
Every once in a
Every
while.
once in a while.
Every
Yeah.
once in a while he'll sing harmony. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love the sound, and it's been cool to play with you guys. And you guys have a like a residency. I guess it's every other month, I think, at Jolton Hardware in Nashville. And I've been on a couple of those, and I think we've got another one coming up in September.
Yep.
And that's been kind of cool because you, I guess, curate that, Ron, and bring in different acts. And even the ones that I haven't been on, I've been to because it's always a good time.
Yeah. Great place. Great
yeah.
It's a
place.
fun place.
Yeah, I like that. And what's the name of the place you guys are playing tonight?
Cedar Glade Brews.
Okay,
Yep.
and that's here in Murfreesboro. Okay, cool. Well, the other thing that I noticed in here when you walk in, and I guess you can see this in the shot, but there's a picture of Frank Zappa on the toilet playing a guitar, which is
Inspiring.
striking. Yeah, I mean, there's some inspiration. Is that how you get in the mood for creative undertakings?
Well, I needed a curtain.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Frank. So,
Yeah.
cover him with that. And it's really cool because when it's dark outside, you can see it on the other side. So
Yeah.
my neighbors love him too.
Yeah. Frank Zappa's that's an acquired taste, right? And I feel like one of you guys was saying this before. It's like people kind of come to Frank Zappa from different reasons. And one of you guys was saying it was because of Fish, maybe, that you kind of got into.
Yeah,
Frank
you
Zappa.
would mention that, and we have a friend, Craig Murphy, who's a local Murfreesboro icon.
Lars Hall. he
Yeah.
was The Laughing Storm Dogs. They were,
Yeah. So he turned you on to Frank Zappa. Yeah, it's weird. What about Captain Beefheart?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Now, I was introduced to Captain Beefheart well before Zappa. I had a roommate in '93 when I was going to school in East Tennessee, and he brought home Captain Beefheart's Magic Band
Yeah.
on CD, and that we didn't have cable or nothing. That was like one of the only CDs we had. That's
Yeah.
some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
But it opened my mind to being artsy. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be, 3-chord songs.
Yeah.
Jump
And
outside.
yeah, Frank Zappa, man. Did you say your playing is influenced by him at all?
I try.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I definitely love his playing. So.
Yeah.
Zappa, Eric Johnson. I hear a lot of that in there.
Yeah. Who were some of the people that were in Zappa's band? Was his band always the Mothers of Invention? I'm not as familiar as you guys are, probably. I know.
Well,
that
I think
was
they were the Mothers at first,
Yeah.
and then the label didn't like. They were like, nobody's going to buy an album by the Mothers, so they called
Yeah.
it the Mothers of Invention.
Yeah. Who were some people that were in that band over the years? Though?
Chester Thompson.
Chester.
Yeah.
The
Ruth
guys.
Underwood.
Yeah,
I
the
should
guys
know
from the
this.
Turtles. That
Yeah,
band. They were
yeah.
the front men for it for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name?
I know.
Keyboard player. Get a vehicle. Best keyboard player in the world.
Steve Winwood?
No. That's embarrassing. We have to edit this out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Keyboard player from Zappa.
I do. I know, and it's great. It's escaping me. Yeah.
George Duke.
That's it.
George
Yeah,
Duke.
that's it.
Okay.
George Duke.
Yeah.
He made that band, kind of, though. Him and Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the bass player's name? That's terrible. Oh. I should know that.
Yeah. But they were it's weird. A lot of people just assumed that Zappa was on drugs or something like that. He was famously not, and kind of a hard ass band leader from what I've heard,
Yeah.
which kind of is like, is different than a lot of other rock and roll, pioneers or whatever.
Well, you just loved sound and sound effects, and there was nothing between the music and just complete chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys are writing and recording, is there anything that you're wanting to stay as a core part of what you do? I mean, most of your songs are they definitely complement each other, and they all sound like they belong together. But there's a lot of different influences going on there and a lot of different feels. Is there anything that you consciously try to keep as a core part of what you're doing if you're creating or recording a song?
It's kind of weird. Like we'll be in the practice room, and I'll bring a song, or Jeremy will bring a song, and we'll play it, and we'll just be like, "That doesn't sound like Zentrance," or "That sounds like Zentrance." You know,
Right.
It's like I don't know. We haven't put our finger on what that is yet. Yeah.
Even if it's something that's pretty good, you're like, yeah, that's cool, but that's not us.
You can tell by the way the guys are playing it if they like it or not.
If they're feeling it. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
So there's some that you're like, well, maybe we'll come back to it, or
Yeah.
or just write something else.
Yeah.
Right. And you were saying a while ago, Ron, and I think all songwriters do this, that you were going back and, I mean, this was you maybe, Jeremy, just looking at snippets of ideas you've had in the past. And that's kind of cool. That's a cool jumping off point, because a lot of times you're like, oh, I should have done something with this. Why didn't I? And then you finish it years later.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
It is. Yeah.
You change, your mind changes over the years. So when you
Yeah.
read something this way, you go, oh, that was pretty cool. Oh, well, put another. And then if you don't finish it, you come back another year. Or
Right.
something, so.
Yeah.
Well, and it's cool just to look at it too, because sometimes I'll hear stuff and I was like, I can't believe. I mean, I know what part of my life I was in and what I was thinking when I did that. Even if I don't end up using it, I was like, oh, I can recall why I put that
Takes
there,
you right back there.
and what I was thinking.
How
And
messy your handwriting was.
yeah,
That was a
You figure-
Jim Beam night.
figuring on what's going on. Yeah. The other thing that we had talked about a little bit prior to turning the record button on here was just the fact that those particular bands that you guys were in the early 2000s and the grueling gigs and stuff like that after a time, and a lot of people just being young and stupid and partying and stuff like that. And that is often the case when you're a young musician or whatever. I mean, that's kind of a stereotypical thing, but that I can't really find any examples of that where that sustains itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like something changes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Keith Richards or something.
Yeah. Well, even he's settled down now. I think.
Yeah.
It took him, 80 years?
Most people, I think he finally settled down in his late 70s.
Right.
He's like,
yeah.
I might have to start thinking about my future here.
Yeah.
I only drank half the bottle.
But yeah, I mean, it is. And it's, you get to a point where it's like the party just supersedes the music at some point.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, this is not really as fun as I thought it was going to be.
This is
You
not
know?
what we signed up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Whether it was you causing it or your bandmate causing it, it catches up with itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it never, I'm just saying, you can't, I don't think you can point to any situation where that worked out well. So both of you guys now, I think, are completely sober and not anything like you used to be in that regard.
Yeah. I'm about a year and 6 months, and you're
2 years and a month.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right at, yeah.
And I would guess that things are better and not worse, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, your playing is better, your attitude's better.
Yeah.
You remember everything.
Yeah. Good or bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Good or bad.
Remembering and listening are two different things.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Well, that's another thing I notice about you guys, because I've seen you a lot just because we've played shows together a lot, and I've come to a bunch of your shows just to be there because I dig it. But just in the past year and a half that I've seen, you guys have progressed, and a lot of it is listening. There's a lot of active listening going along with your group. I mean, from the audience as well, but I mean, just little stuff that is noticeable.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a music nerd fan like me, I'll be like, oh, okay, this is coming together a little bit different than it did last time, in a good way.
Yeah.
People are listening, and I don't think you can do that if you're if you're out of your mind. I mean, there's no subtlety there or whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny because you'll go see some cover bands or whatever, and they're just wasted, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway, this I'm going to editorialize, which I don't normally do on here. Is that all right with you?
Sure.
I don't give a lot of my opinions, but I'm going to give an opinion. I was driving here today, And I was listening to that song "Cold as Ice." Is that Foreigner?
Cold as ice.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't ever need to hear that song again in my life. I couldn't turn it off fast enough. I could not turn it off fast enough. And then I was like, why? What is it about this stuff? And I think it's because I grew up in, a rural part of southeastern North Carolina, which was not a hotbed of great radio stations, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, there was no internet and there was MTV, so I was absorbing stuff like that. But just as far as being able to listen to stuff, the only thing that I kind of even liked or whatever was a classic rock station, like from Myrtle Beach. So I've heard those songs so many times. And there's some that, but like that, I'm, nothing against Foreigner,
That's Guns N' Roses for me.
Oh, really? See, I would not put them in that category.
Well, that's the new classic rock.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
True.
Guns
true.
N' Roses is like Led Zeppelin for our generation.
Yes.
That's kind of sad.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Slash. I like you.
Yeah.
No, that's let's talk about that, because
Slash is
Ron
cool.
and I went to see Guns N' Roses about a year ago.
I'm sorry.
Well, our kids are.
I got you.
They're just discovering
they're
that.
going
That
through
in the
that.
bud, man.
Well, what did you think about that show, Ron?
It was better than the one that I saw in '91 when I was a kid, when they were young and terrible.
Oh yeah, what happened there? Was that at Starwood?
No, it was in Alabama, in an old rundown horse track, and it had been raining all week, so we were standing in mud.
Was that an
Foot
Aerosmith
deep.
tour? Or?
No, it was them and Skid Row,
Okay, okay.
and Skid Row blew them off the stage.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Sebastian Bach could sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they were just wasted. They were wasted. You talk about the young and just
Yeah.
doing stupid,
Yeah.
So in comparison,
Yeah,
night and day.
I saw Poison one time back then, like 88, 89 or something, and it was just god awful. I mean,
Go CC.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to like it because I was a kid, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go see one of my favorite bands at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, there's just no way around the fact that was just terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Guns N' Roses last summer I thought was really good for what they were. Slash, I mean, instrumentally it was fantastic.
You're
honestly.
spot
Great
on.
guitar
Axel's
player.
voice.
Yeah. I think Axel's he's doing the best he can
With what he's got.
with what,
yeah.
and that's a lot better than a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
Especially considering the material.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, when Guns N' Roses came out, that was I felt like a world was opening up for me because of what you were saying, Jeremy. It was like, this is some good stuff, but this is my stuff.
Yeah.
Like this was my generation.
Yeah.
And even though it was kind of throwing back to a lot of the Aerosmith and Stones influences or whatever, I was like, we can kind of own this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is.
But
Well, when you talk about that, like as far as concerts, like Guns N' Roses or not, but like some of the first concerts I got to see because of our age.
Yeah.
Not telling what my age is, I guess, but you can figure it out. But like, my first concert was the Jackson 5 with Michael Jackson in 1984.
was that the
know.
Victory
Wow.
tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neyland
that's
Stadium.
fair. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Saw Clapton on the Journeyman tour.
I saw that too.
I saw that tour also.
Yeah,
I was there.
It was amazing.
I saw
played
that
the-
It was
in
before he cut his
Chapel
hair.
Hill.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, that-
when he cut his hair, he lost a part of
I
Clapton.
cried
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they played the Layla. That was a beautiful Layla.
Oh, it was.
I
Yeah.
remember being like, oh.
He was wearing like an Armani suit
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
no tie.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that gray,
Yeah.
pewter gray stripe.
Yeah.
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 That was good
That
stuff.
was the last good tour.
I was
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's still great. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but that was the end of that.
That's how I want to remember him.
yeah, I saw that same tour. I think it was in Chapel Hill, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
that was a great tour.
That's the only time I've ever seen him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, just I don't know. And there's still pockets of this. We don't talk about Broadway in Nashville because it's not exactly that. It's not, because that repertoire is pretty limited, and you've got Don't Stop Believing and all that in there, but you don't have Foreigner and stuff like that. But when you get out to some of the more roadhouses kind of things where the older folks hang out, you still this culture of these cover bands that play nothing but that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their thing.
That's,
you know?
yeah, that's what they want. That's,
And those people are like in their 70s and 80s now.
Mm-hmm.
The people that want to hear Foreigner or, why I'm drawing a blank on some of this stuff now, but
REO Speedwagon.
REO Speedwagon, Sticks.
Sticks. I like Sticks.
Yeah, I got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I like
Boston.
that prog vibe they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of people covering Boston.
Oh,
don't.
dude, yeah. Tom Schultz
hard.
is a ripper, man.
Well, I mean, Brad Delp, the singer.
Yes.
Nobody, most people can't sing like that.
No.
Yeah. And, but occasionally you'll see people try to pull that off. But yeah, that's a whole thing where when I grew up, that was the outlet. That was the entrance I had into music, and that's why I was excited when Guns N' Roses came along. It's like, this is something that's not for my parents' generation, but it kind of sounds like it was.
Yeah.
And now our kids are listening to that.
Yeah, the 90s and all of that have come back around. And
Yeah, it's like, Dad, you had it great. This was out when you were a kid. It's like, oh.
Did your kid, like my son came to me, this was probably 4 years ago now, but in all sincerity, and he's like, Dad, have you ever heard of Whitney Houston? And I'm like, yes, I've heard of Whitney Houston. He's like, gosh, she can sing. And I'm like, yes, Whitney Houston, that's from my generation,
It's that cocaine, man.
And then he goes, you ever heard of the Beastie Boys? I'm like, yes.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird that people have music. There's just some music out there, I think, that it's just not that it's bad. It's just so ingrained in me that I don't need to hear Jukebox Hero.
Right. Yeah.
Some of that stuff I still would. Now, like Pink Floyd, I could still go for that. Not Money though. That's the song that's a classic rock staple.
Yeah. I'm more of a metal. I like the metal album. And,
Yeah.
nobody likes Final Cut, but I think it's great.
The music on Final Cut's
The music's amazing.
But those
Yeah.
lyrics,
The lyrics
shred
yeah.
your soul, man. You cry that album.
Did you go? I went to see Pink Floyd on the Division Bell tour in 94.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
93
My wife
or
went to
94.
that. Yeah.
Did you see that too?
I can't remember what tour it was, but it was
I think they played at Vanderbilt. Yeah, that might have been it.
It might have been. It was in mid-90s sometime.
Yeah, I think it was the same one because I know somebody
Yeah.
else who was there.
I barely remember it though. That's one of those things where I wish I didn't do things to myself because I was there and everybody's like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "I remember being there."
Yeah, it was good. They played at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, so that makes sense that they played at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they had the big pig floating around
Yeah.
in the stadium. I was like, whoa.
They also had like a surround sound thing where there was speakers behind, up and behind the
I
seats.
heard about that. They said it sounded like a lawnmower.
Yeah,
rolling
and
around
you could hear
They
like there's
teased the
helicopter
echoes.
sounds.
I
Yeah,
thought they were gonna play echoes, and they were doing
Yeah.
the ding.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then they went into Division Bell. But
yeah. It was really
That
high
album
tech
was
for that
great.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really high tech for that time.
I actually like that post.
Post Roger Waters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's different, but I like it. Yeah.
David Gilmour is just a.
it's not about his mama and his daddy. You know, it's like David's a little more uplifting.
He's
Yeah.
more melodic, and his guitar tone is one of the most beautiful melodic things.
It's a voice.
Yeah.
It's like when he plays a guitar, it's a voice. It's not a guitar.
Yeah.
Or when he's playing the pedal steel.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
he's so
man.
good at that. Like
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that. Yeah.
The solo on the two solos or whatever on Comfortably Numb, the first one more melodic, the second one is just to me that's a master class.
Oh yeah.
Strat playing right there.
It is. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's some good stuff. But anyway, back to Zentrance. You guys gonna play Jukebox Hero tonight?
Oh, for sure.
No, that's cool. I mean, you
Got
guys.
one guitar.
Or maybe it's 23.
23, you can bring all of these. But you guys, from time to time, we'll throw in some cool covers. I think you do a Bob Marley song. I've seen you do a Beatles song. How do you pick those? Sometimes you'll end with something. Is that just something somebody throws out an idea, or
We might have heard it earlier. Hey, that'd be cool. Let's try that.
Yeah.
And then you play it and you go, oh, it's all right.
yeah,
We won't do that one again. But
Yeah.
I think most of them work.
most of them. Oh, we did Butcher
The Bob Seger.
Bob
tune.
Seger one night.
Yeah.
I hope nobody recorded
That one didn't work out, but
awful.
it's sometimes
Which
they don't.
Bob Seger?
Somebody walked up to me and said, "Man, you destroyed that Metallica song." You know which one I'm talking about now. Here I am.
Yeah, turn the page.
Turn page.
Yeah, I did not see y'all play that.
Good.
Yeah. You missed that. You missed
I
that.
hope nobody saw that.
That
was-
seems a little bit out of character.
It was
It
really-
was a little different. Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
I think it was mine.
Yeah,
actually. I
but
was
you know,
being-
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know,
I had
You
to
gotta
play it
try
off and laugh it off after I realized it was like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Boom.
One cool thing that you guys did earlier this year was played a show with Johnny Neal, which was really cool. I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
That was good, and his band is fantastic. I think you guys are friends with some of
Yeah,
those guys.
so the guitar player in the Criminal Element with Johnny is he's Randy Bowen and Sean Wilson, the drummer for Zentrance. We were in our very first band together.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the connection there.
So y'all grew
Bass
up-
player is Russell Wright, which I was in a band with, Alphabeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
I
That's
played
right.
with the bass players.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Man, that was great. And Johnny Neal was doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
What a career he's had.
Well, and on Johnny Neal, if anybody's listening, YouTube when he played on Ralph Emery with
Okay.
Dickie Betts' band.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Oh, he tore
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, he does the second
Was it
guitar part
Jessica?
on piano.
They were
and
playing
it's-
Jessica? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
That's
And,
incredible.
Jessica and the Blue Sky that they do
Yeah.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is cool. Let's talk about the Allman Brothers for a minute. That's one of my favorite topics.
Well, you've got some background on that too, a little bit.
Tell me, Ron, what do you think about the Allman Brothers? What's your deal with them?
Oh, I've always loved them. It was my wife and I's first concert, Starwood.
That's weird.
I had seen them before that, but
That's
really?
the
Is there another
first
connection?
concert me and Sunshine. I took her to see them at the Horde Festival in '94.
Oh, so I was at that show, but that wasn't the one that I was at
But
with Terry.
I was
your
at that
wife-
tour,
That
not
was
the
your
same show,
first
probably.
concert with your wife. That was the first concert with my. We got so many weird things.
There's
in
a
common.
lot of weird connections. Yeah.
We keep
it
finding
is.
these out, and it's like we're
I saw that tour in Raleigh too. That had Blues Traveler,
yes,
and Fastball.
yes.
Remember that?
And
Yeah,
Colonel
yeah.
Bruce Hampton.
Hamptons.
They had played the second stage.
Hey, and Bruce Hornsby,
Bruce Hornsby.
and Mickey Hart.
And
Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
Yeah.
Cheryl Crow played on a
Crow.
little tiny stage before anybody knew who she was.
Was this at Starwood? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else was it? Oh, I can't remember.
I
was a
remember.
good show. It
was
I
good.
remember. I think Bruce Hornsby was doing like a gospel thing at the time. I think
so,
I
yeah.
can't remember what
That
his
sounds right, yeah.
configuration. Not to sidetrack because we need to stick to the Allman Brothers because that's what this podcast is about. But Bruce
Yeah.
Hornsby, man, if you dig into that guy's career,
Yeah.
he has done
It's deep.
everything.
Yeah.
He survived the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Every keyboard player the Grateful Dead's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he?
He kind of kept them going for a
Yeah.
while.
He basically said,
Bruce.
I mean, he was in awe of them being able to do that, but it was not a good time for them, and he was trying to keep them on the rails.
Yeah.
I was worried
Yeah.
he was gonna die though. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I like Bruce, man. Don't play for them.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah. But and you know, most people know him by a string of excellent hits that he had in the late 80s or what. I mean, just excellent songs. But he's one of those dudes, he's like, I could probably make a career out of these songs and keep going. Nope.
Yeah.
He just kept
His
going.
stuff is lesser known and wasn't as big hits, but I mean, I think he has a healthy relationship with those songs because I think he plays them and he gets it. You know, that's part of my audience. But then he's going to bring you into some other stuff, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's
this
amazing.
This
Yeah.
is crazy. Okay, back to the Allman Brothers.
Who are they?
So you both, your eventual wives, your first date concert with them was the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Pearson, one of their guitar players, is from here in Murfreesboro.
Yep, Jack Pearson was playing with them.
Which you've taken lessons from?
You took lessons?
Yeah. I worked at a guitar store he gave lessons at. So
Chambers?
with Chambers and concert production, both of
Okay.
them. But he would sit there, wait on his next student, and give me tips. And
Yeah.
great guy. I love the guy.
Jack Pearson is one of those rare, and I've only talked to him once or twice. I certainly don't claim to know him, but he's one of the kindest people you ever meet in your life, and one of the most humble people. Mm-hmm. But then he is also such a unique player.
Yeah.
And he can do anything.
I've never seen anybody play so many inversions of chords in my life. And they're seamless.
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So he was in the Allman Brothers for a while with Dickie Betts. Mm-hmm. Not too long, I don't think, but for a while.
Mm-hmm. He played for Greg Allman too.
Yeah, he was in Greg's solo band.
Greg's solo band.
Yeah. So what's your favorite iteration or era of the Allman Brothers Band? Are you a Warren Haynes fan?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to love the original lineup.
Yeah, the 70,
Of course.
But Warren and Derek together, holy moly, that was explosive.
But
Warren and Dickie, too.
There was ones where it was Jerry or Jimmy Herring.
Yeah.
Those are some smoking shows.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Warren. It was Warren. Warren was out with Government Mule, I believe, and it was Derek and Jimmy Herring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that Horde tour, I think, was Warren and the bass player that passed away,
Alan Woody.
Alan Woody. That was a mighty sound right there.
Alan was a great guy. I worked at Chambers Guitars, and he used to come in there all the time. He lived in Lebanon, so he would come in the shop all the time.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I'd take lessons at Bellevue, and I guess Brian Farmer.
Yeah,
he was here. He worked there,
Yeah.
and he'd do setups on my guitar. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Alan would come in. Warren would come in. I remember one night I was sitting there waiting for my lesson, practicing. I was trying to learn Amy, Pure Prairie Lead.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're doing that wrong." But I had no idea who he was. He like grabbed the guitar out of my hand. He's like this.
Funny story. I was wearing an Allman Brothers T-shirt like I do most days, and I was going into Publix, the grocery store right by my house, and there was this younger lady that works in there, and I recognized her, and she had said hello to me before. And one time she came up to me and she goes, "I noticed you're an Allman Brothers fan." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, you probably wouldn't know him, but my uncle, he's passed away. His name was Brian Farmer. He used to work for her." I was like, "I know exactly who he is." And her face just lit up, and we just started talking. And I said, "He may be one of the only guitar techs that has his own fans. Fans were
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
And when he passed away, there was a big outpouring from fans, and
Everybody loved Brian.
her
He
face
was so
lit up when I
crotchety,
Yeah.
but you couldn't help but love him. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's how Alan was. Alan was,
Yeah.
but he was still sweet.
Yeah.
He bought there was a shell pink bass at Chambers one time, and he was come up and he laid it on the counter and he goes, "I'll take that." And I was like, "Shell pink." He said, "It's for my daughter." It's for my daughter. And I was like, "Yeah, right." I was like, "I'm gonna see a video of him playing that." So it was shell pink.
So, was your time working at Chambers Guitars? Is that how you learned how to do all this stuff?
Yeah,
Working on
I
guitar?
missed that job. It was great. When I was in high school, we had a co-op program where you can go find a job and get credit.
Uh-huh.
So I bugged Joe. I was like, "Come on, let me come here for my job so I can play guitar and get paid."
Yeah.
You know, he's like, "Well, you can't play and work here." But I worked there in my high school, and all the way up till I moved to East Tennessee, but I came back and worked till 2000 for about 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And I became a Fender technician. I worked on guitars and.
Yeah, you say you went to a bunch of guitar shows.
Yeah,
and,
we did the vintage market. We did all kinds. I learned so much working there.
Yeah, you met a lot of cool people.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah. I mean,
And Joe Chambers, who passed away pretty recently, went on to found the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville, which is a cool thing for anybody thinking about visiting Nashville. Go over there, and I think you said you went in there and you're like, hey, I remember getting that thing signed by whoever.
That's a crazy story. I don't know if I left that in here or not, but there's exhibits everywhere in the place. And when I worked for Joe, I was mainly the guy that was, if somebody came in the store, I was like, hey, could you autograph this for me?
Yeah.
You know, so anytime something came in the store, someone came in there, I was doing,
That's it.
But we went places like the NAMM show, and I'd bring things to have signed. But when I went in there a few months ago, it's my first time I'd ever been in there. And I was like, wow, that's behind glass. I had that signed. And, I was there when that signed, you know. And then Billy Sherrill's piano is one of the first exhibits. That thing sat in our hallway. And I'd come in every morning and bang on it.
I remember that.
Dude, it was Billy Sherrill's piano sat in chambers for 15 years, and we'd come in there, and my son was like, I used to play on that piano, and it's like, do not touch. It's like, fingerprints all over that thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's amazing, and there's so many things in that place that I was like, I was part of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a great experience. I mean, a lot of those things coming up, and now you know how to do all this stuff. Do you work on Ron's guitars for free?
If he asked me to.
Yeah, I haven't asked yet, but I should, right?
He shouldn't have to pay.
Well, I heard you asking about something going on with your amp.
Oh, yeah.
You got a bunch of cool amps around here, too, so you know how to
got
work
a lot.
on all that,
It's a
too.
curse.
Yeah.
To the extent, there's some things I don't do.
But you know what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Right? That's half the battle right there. Yeah, I don't know.
I can at least tell you what's wrong with it. But
Yeah.
I might not be the one that fixes it.
Yeah. So back to Zentrance, you guys have been releasing a series of singles throughout the past few months, and I think you're probably almost finished with the full album. Is that finished now? Or no?
Yeah, I just got the masters last week. And I toyed with the ideas. We're still kind of on the fence, like just keep releasing them as singles. We might just go ahead and finish it out because on the 31st we're starting the next album. So
Okay.
we're just gonna get it behind us and move forward.
Yeah. Also, I think engineered and mixed by my buddy Adam Dean.
Yep.
And
Sure.
is he going to be involved with this next one too? or-
Yeah, absolutely. He's helped a lot with the production. He's been awesome to work with. Absolutely.
Yeah, I still haven't had him on here. That's going to be one that I have.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun one. Hopefully we can go over to his studio and do something there. This is cool. I like doing the traveling things. Me and Chris, who's back there, sets all this up. This is kind of fun where we get to go, and it's a lot. It's a lot more engaging in a lot of ways than doing remote interviews. But that's just the nature of it. Sometimes you just have to do it because we've had people from other countries and people from across the different parts of the country. So it's nice to be able to come to Murfreesboro, even though I had to get on I-24. That's the worst. In all of my travels, I declare that to be the worst stretch of interstate between Nashville and Murfreesboro.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Can I get a witness on that?
Amen.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't moved that way. I still live here.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, we're talking about this like everybody knows it, but most people don't. So Nashville, Murfreesboro is a town that's just a little southeast of Nashville. Middle Tennessee State University is here. The lines are kind of getting blurred. You don't know when you're leaving Nashville now and entering Murfreesboro, but Murfreesboro has had its own musical thing going on over the years, separate from Nashville, but yet obviously connected in a lot of ways. A lot of that, I think, probably has to do with MTSU, with kids coming in and that kind of thing.
The RIM program.
Yeah, the recording program there. But there was a time, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s, where Murfreesboro kind of had a mark. There was some names.
Yeah, they had a moment
names.
like Sponge Bath.
Yeah. Big World Records.
Self, all those guys.
Self.
Yeah.
And
who went on to do. They're still some of those guys are still doing really cool things.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like music for the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles movies, or whether it's
Yeah.
like doing advertisements and commercials. And
Yeah.
Matt's a genius.
yeah, he is.
Yeah. Besides the Borough, which is still here, and that's kind of the old standard as far as Murfreesboro live music venues. There were some other ones that I remember. Wall Street, I don't think that's there anymore.
That was our haunt.
Wall
for-
Street was the watering hole.
well,
is, that,
I think-
is that where y'all played?
Sebastian's was one,
Yeah.
and then Sebastian's went out, and then Wall Street opened
I
up.
remember seeing John Schofield
Yeah,
and
John
Sebastian's.
Schofield,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah, little tiny place. Ed King.
yeah.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner.
He came and saw an iteration of a band that me and Sean were in one night, and he was, having a good time at the bar. And
Yeah.
this is before the internet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
before it was very big. And
Yeah.
we were like, he was like, yeah, I'm Ed King. And we're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it was. Yeah.
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 I met him. I went to a yard sale at his house one time over in Westmead.
Yeah.
And he was out there smoking a cigar, and he just said, "Hey, sit down." My wife was looking around, and
He's
was
a cool guy.
He's-
Yeah.
I met him at King B Guitars one time.
Yeah.
He had I wanted to buy something there, and he wasn't selling a lot of music stuff. I mean, I think he might have had a hat that had belonged to Ronnie Van Zant or something, but he had a life-size cardboard cutout of Bill Clinton playing the saxophone that he said that they had gotten in Arkansas or something and put in the window of their bus. So I bought that from him.
That's funny.
And put that in the window of my house for a while. I was like, what is going on in that guy's house? But yeah.
But going back to the Murfreesboro, you're talking about Wall Street. Like our bands would,
Oh, yeah.
back in the day, and like I think we both almost made that floor go out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The last time, I can't remember what night it was. I think it was
It was
Halloween.
It was upstairs.
Yeah,
for
The
reference,
back wall, one night we had played there, and you load out the back stairwell. We
yeah.
loaded out and left, and the next morning the whole back of the building had blown out.
What? Was it a tornado or something?
No, it just gave. There was no framing.
Because
just
y'all
brick.
literally tore the roof off the
Well, the
side.
floor used to
That's it.
flex. You
Yeah,
could
it did flex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if people were dancing, the floor would do like this, and
It
you could
was.
see people's heads moving like this
Yeah.
while you're on the stage.
Well, and downstairs, the fans would be
Yeah.
wobbling from it. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
used to hit capacity at that place.
Yeah.
Not every time we played
Yeah,
there.
yeah, absolutely. It was fun. Those were good times.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Now it's a pool hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't remember Sebastian's. Was that downtown too?
It was 2 doors down from Wall Street.
Okay. Because Wall Street had downstairs and upstairs.
Sebastian's was our first brewery. You remember he had beer? he
Yeah,
made?
yeah,
Had
yeah.
sediment in the bottom of it. You get.
This is my bar.
I don't think it was like F8,
Yeah.
approved. He just made beer and he sold it to us.
and
You
we drank it.
hungover? Oh my god!
Though not licensed by any state board, you might want to try this.
Well, it was Sebastian's Brew. It was like named after
Yeah.
his kid or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like that guy was cheap too, boy.
He was funny. He was a character.
I think the place closed because he wouldn't pay his BMI fees
But,
because of his
that's,
jukebox.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And my drummer at the time worked for BMI.
He was going around checking that stuff.
He's like, dude, don't shut down our bar. He's got to pay his BMI fee.
That's
Oh,
funny.
man.
Yeah. I do remember Wall Street. I went there. I think I might have played. Did they have like acoustic stuff downstairs?
Downstairs, a little stage
I think
thing,
I
yeah,
played
yeah.
there
They
downstairs.
still
one
do.
time.
They still have music downstairs.
Yeah.
I think I played there a few
You'll hear
times.
wagon wheel
Yeah. Yeah.
about every 30
No,
minutes.
no offense.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, it's
Would you
fine.
okay?
It's been overplayed.
Jukebox Hero or Wagon Wheel?
Neither.
Huh?
Neither. Like if I've got to choose.
Be a jukebox, wagon wheel.
Yeah.
Make one song out of it.
Hey, there's an idea. Y'all got time to work that up before your show?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Do the remix.
I'll pull up the lyrics for you.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, that's cool. So, do we know the title of the album or the release date for that yet, or that's
Yeah,
yet to
so
come?
the title was Apocalypse. These string of songs were mostly written during the pandemic. It's the theme, and it has a theme. I hope people will listen to it from beginning to end because it does tell a story.
Yeah. So, well, then that makes sense to release it as an album,
right after the election.
Yeah. There's some stuff in there we were talking about that the other day. Yeah. We won't go that way, but I think where we're leaning. So. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So, do you have a date for that?
I'm thinking in about 3 to 4 weeks. I have not set the date, but it'll be very soon. I don't know if it'll be before or after this comes out. But
are you planning to do like a release show related with that, or just?
I would like to do that. I think we're gonna release it digitally. Get some details worked out on getting some vinyl pressed, and then once that's pressed, I think we'll do like an actual release show. Okay. Even though it will have already technically come out.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, we'll put a link to that and to your website, and hopefully people will be able to hear that. And if you guys are up for it, we can break this down and reset and have you guys do a song if you'd like to.
That'd be fun.
But thank you again for doing this. Thank you, Jeremy, for hosting us here in this cool place. And I kind of want to go play on the swing set out back. It's like
it is. It's an adult playground.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you could like rent that out for people to do photo shoots and stuff. Do. You do? Okay.
That's cool. We've got several photographer people that take like senior pictures and stuff back there.
Okay.
It's kind of we've let it go a little bit, but she's got like flowers and stuff. She always
maybe you could take a picture of me and Chris back there, and we could frame that and put it over the fireplace sometime.
You could do it like old '80s Walmart style, where he's standing above you.
I got a pitchfork back there. You could do the American Gothic.
Yeah, American Gothic. Okay, now we're talking.
In front of my barn.
Well, we'll put links to those pictures with this too. But thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. And any of you guys out there, if you're in town in Nashville in the area, check out Zentrance. Great band, one of my favorite bands right now, and just really coming up with some good stuff. And the album Apocalypse will be coming out soon. We'll put a link to that. I think there's you guys have some lyric videos and stuff out there. I mean, everything's on YouTube now anyway.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there. Yeah. If you put a link, they can find it.
Okay. Yep. Well, we'll do that. Anything else you guys want to get off your chest before we?
Yes, buy some GameStop. Buy GameStop and AMC so we can be all rich.
Ron, any stock tips?
No stock tips.
Plant your corn early.
Yeah.
Roaring Kitty, are you listening? Tweet something. Dying, I got to pay my house payment.
Yeah, Jeremy's a day trader here.
Okay.
Trying to day trade.
Yeah. Well, I have no expertise in that field.
No, me neither. Yeah, I know a lot about wrapping hot dogs in concession stands.
Yes, I can do
band
that.
boosters. Yeah.
That's another thing, though. Ron and I have kids that are the same age, and they're in marching band, and the band boosters' parents have to run the concession stand. So we we wrapped up and put together like 200 hamburgers and hot dogs last night.
Oh yeah.
It's a scene. If you'd like to come join us, and we need volunteers, Jeremy, if you'd like to come down and do that.
You just gotta.
It's a scene, man. It's almost like
a good vibe.
Thank you.
It's almost like it's almost like real work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's harder than my real job.
When I went to sleep last night, I was like, "Whoo!" Feel like I've done something this evening.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry. Yeah.
Thank y'all for being on here, and everybody check out Zentrance. We'll see you next time.
Step up to the plate. Let your story be told. I promise I won't be late. 'Cause if you follow, I won't falter. Come along with me. Let your worries go free. Easy as you can see. Just have to drink the water. Now let's ride. You're my saving grace. Take me to that place from your childhood. To that special place where I can learn what you're made of. Reject destiny, and forever we can live wild and free. Our sanctuary. Step up to the plate with me.
Thank you for joining us today. That was Zentrance. Really good performances from those guys and great time talking with them, and had a great time doing that interview. And again, this is our last episode of the first season. We will keep you updated on what the dates are and what our release schedule will be for the second season. You can find that on all of our social channels. You can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm sure we'll break in and do some things. We may even do a couple of special episodes in between the first and second season. So please, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, keep a lookout. We will be popping in from time to time between these two seasons, I imagine. And if you have not followed us on any of the socials, please do that as well. You can find everything and links to everything at brokenrulespod.com. Thank you again for joining us. If you do like this podcast or you know somebody who would like it, please share it. And we will look forward to seeing you real soon.